or co-host rather, B.Rhodes, and this is the beautiful
Keisha Charisma.
And in the morning panel session, we got some great nuggets of information. Our keynote speaker who came up after the fact, for those of you who were in attendance, that was a moving keynote speech that took place. So were any of you guys in the room? Can you give a round of applause one more time for that panel? It was some absolutely amazing information that we got. I myself am personally motivated and inspired to get back and implement some of that in my own businesses. So that's what today is all about, creating those nuggets of information and wealth.
Yes, so according to CBS, during the pandemic, entrepreneurship skyrocketed, especially in the Black community. But if we're being honest, the thought of like working for ourselves and owning our business never really crossed our minds before that.
Absolutely, that's correct. So if you're just getting your business started, just like me, hey, you are absolutely not alone. So whether you're just getting your business started now, or if you've been in the game for an extended period of time, one thing remains consistent. Building hype around your service or your product is absolutely key to becoming successful. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong in regards to that? Building hype is vitally important. Let me know you guys are with me, okay? Absolutely, absolutely. So we are super excited to be discussing building anticipation around one's product. Right, Keisha?
Yes, I'm so excited for this next panelist. So her name is Alana Johnson. She's the founder of Brand Manifest. And she loves working with brands who are not only passionate about what they do, but also have a purpose and a story behind them. So let's give it up for Alana Johnson. And our next panelist is Bolden. She's the founder of Tappidy. So she actually got her start in experiential marketing at the tender age of 13. And since then, as you guys can see in the lobby, her passion has grown since then. So excited to learn from Bree. Let's give it up for her.
It is an incredibly nice jacket. Very flavorful, very tasteful. I love it. Where'd you get it from?
She's the blade.
There we go. Gotta love the plug. And introducing finally to the stage is the founder of CIS and the CEO of OC Business Development. Please give a warm welcome, Mrs. Oriana Campbell.
How are you guys doing this afternoon? All right, ladies. So we did have one more panelist that was on here, Walter Fuego. For those of you who are looking for him, let's keep him in our prayers because he's going through some things right now. So we're just gonna all keep him in our prayers. So ladies, let's kick off this panel just by, telling everybody just a little bit about yourself. So are you, Alana?
All right, my name is Alana Johnson, and as they stated, I'm the CEO of Brand Manifest. We are a creative marketing agency, and we bring the big brand experience to medium-sized brands and businesses. Most of my background is working with marketing agencies or corporate brands like JetBlue. We of course in partnership with Verizon One, and I realized that there's a huge gap in between big brands and how they operate in their marketing operations and small and medium-sized brands who feel like they never have the budget or the know-how to get themselves out there or compete in a way that they need to compete in today's market. So that's how Brand Manifest was founded, and I love working with brands who are actually passionate about what they're doing. I work at a lot of marketing agencies where we have clients that just have a lot of money, right? They just throw budget at everything, but they're not passionate about their brand. And it's very challenging to work with brands like that. So I love working with brands who are interested in offering something real and authentic. So that's Brand Manifest.
All right, nice. How about you, Bree?
Hi everyone, I'm Bree. I am the founder of Tappidy. It's actually a new startup.
I work full-time as a brand ambassador or an event specialist. I've represented lots of different brands, but I conduct in-person events. I help create experiences at events so that consumers are more connected with that brand. So I help them leave lasting impressions. As far as Tappidy, we create smart accessories, decor, as well as signage that can virtually link you to anywhere. The first Six Expo that took place, the first Six Expo that took place, I was actually the door girl, and I got so inspired by the event, by the speakers. I was moved to go to the trunk of my car. I had a few Tappidys that I had put together and just showcase it just to see what people thought about it. And
They loved it.
everyone loved it, especially Danielle. She hyped me up like crazy.
She grabbed me off the stage and said, "We're gonna show our verse."
So people started purchasing Tappities, and I was like, okay, it's kind of like a proof of concept. People are interested. So since then, I've been perfecting my craft, and I'm still perfecting my craft. And I'm here today.
So ladies, we're here to talk about product rollouts, business launches. As Keisha said, kind of leading into our discussion, during COVID, there was this huge spike in entrepreneurship and businesses being not just started, but actually registered. For myself, I do business development, so I do work with a lot of small business owners, entrepreneurs, and even for me, my clientele kind of shot up. One of the key factors, though, in working with a lot of these brands is rolling out the business. Because a lot of the times we'll start a business, we'll have this concept, we'll launch it, but how do we really get it to people? How are these people who are successful and they're rolling out, let's say, e-courses, and they're selling 1,000 e-courses in a month? How are they doing it? So that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. It's once we start the business, register the business, we have all our stuff in order. We have our CRM, we have our website and stuff like that. What are the next steps towards launching a business and rolling it out? So let's start with what do you feel is the most important aspect of rolling out a business?
Okay, me personally, I think one of the most important aspects is your operations, right? Knowing your processes. I made this big mistake launching initially and not having every process in place. And when I say processes, I mean every person that's gonna work in your business, knowing specifically what they're going to do, right, to the T.
So delegating properly.
Delegating properly and having that written out as a process in your business. And how does that integrate with every position, right? So starting from the very bottom, it could be the person that is handling your customer service. They could just be the person answering the phones, all the way to your VP of operations, right? Everything should connect with each other. So I think if you have that in place, then when you hire people, they know what their position is, you know what their position is, everyone else in the company knows what their position is, right? And so there's expectations that you have. And then aligned with that, I would say having core values. And I learned this working with big brands, is they always have core values. Your core values define who you are as a brand. And it will detail to other people who you are as a brand, right? It's like having me hanging out with you, and we're going to an event. Maybe she's taking me to an event, and she has no idea who I am, what I like, right? She can take me to this skating rink, and I have a phobia of skating rinks, right? So understanding who your brand is in detail, and being able to articulate that to your team. And I think that is going to cross over to the people that you serve.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. I like that.
Spot on.
I wish, well, I kind of knew that information before, well, not all of that. But I knew that, setting the foundation and, having your operation together before launching a product was a very important key. And I wish I had done a better job at doing that. I guess I'll give you all more so my experience as a new product rollout. I'm still getting together my operations, but it definitely would have made things so much more smooth.
Mhm.
I've wasted so much time figuring out the process. But then again, this is something that's so new and innovative. I didn't have anyone before me to actually just mimic the process of actually making these handmade Tappities. Sorry, piggyback.
No, it's okay because your story is very genuine and it's very much similar to a lot of the individuals here. A lot of the times we do just jump into it. We have an idea, we start putting it together, and it's like, oh snap, like this took off, and people actually like this. So now, let me take a step back. Let me, get everything in order, like you said, get a system together, and then you're able to continue to move forward. But now you have like a peace of mind because you already have that system put together. So I know that you work a lot of live events. So let's talk about that. When it comes to launching a business, launching a product, how important do you feel it is to incorporate going out to live events, doing things like vendor setups and things like that? How important do you feel like that is to reach people?
I think it's key. But first and foremost, those brands have to know who their audience is. Like,
Okay.
who are you trying to get your message across to? And when you get that down pat and you put together these events, it's a hit or miss. You're either gonna impact someone and have a new client, new customer that loves your brand, or you're gonna, or you're going to misconstrue the message and get the exact opposite. I think live events heavily supports, especially new product rollouts, because it puts that connection there. It helps the consumers to understand, okay, who you are, who's behind the brand.
Like what that's more
Yeah,
what I was saying,
Right. Well, what do you stand
the
for?
brand story.
Yeah, your
Who are
brand
you?
story. It's very important because that's what people are paying for. They're not just paying for that product. They're paying for what that product stands for, why that product came to be, and how it's going to help people in the future.
Okay.
Those live events create experiences for people that literally can last a lifetime.
Yeah.
As we've seen on the other side of this wall with all these amazing vendors and business owners. So now let's kind of talk about social media, online marketing. How can we use these different platforms to leverage our company, leverage our brand, and let people know who we are? So is it marketing campaigns? Like, what do you guys feel like are the best ways to go about it? As far as in just reaching people.
I think that sometimes I love social media. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. You need social media, right? But like what she was saying, it's about knowing who your audience is, finding your target audience. And your target audience isn't just small businesses, right? It isn't just millennials. You have to dig deeper, right? Where do your audience shop, right? What are their personalities? What other brands do they like online? How often do they go online? What groups do they belong to? And there are tools, AI tools that you can look up, just Google it. Google actually is one of them. You ever doing advertising? And we offer one too. But it allows you to really psychoanalyze your audience to the core, like how much money are they spending, and when do they usually spend money? Is it at the beginning of the month? Is it at the end of the month?
Yeah.
Knowing really in depth who your audience is, this is gonna save you money when you're trying to reach your audience. You're not spending money just throwing it out there. You also want to do keyword research.
Absolutely.
And like what someone mentioned earlier, you can go to Fiverr and find someone who could do some, really good keyword research and find out what keywords your audience is using to search for you, right? They have what they call short tail and long tail keywords. And then predictive marketing, I would say, is a type of advertising that will allow you to access your audience and find your audience when they're searching for what you have to offer, right? So if someone has searched for business cards, right? That may be relative to Tappidy. If someone has searched for business cards, unique, innovative business cards in the past week, she may want to target those people to introduce them to a new way to
Absolutely.
use business cards, you know?
I think
So
that's great.
I think I talked in a circle, but
It's okay. It's okay. We're listening, and we're following.
Justin, so you're still dropping it. I just got put on by my friend Raji about Google Trends, looking online for Google Trends. And that really helped me actually formulate what keywords I need to use in searching or even using hashtags on social media.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm a social media baby.
And social media is good. It really is. You have to have it. But I'm a big component of once you find your audience, make them captive, right? Because you may have 5,000 followers on social media, but you can never access all 5,000 followers at one time.
How are you gonna
So
convert them?
build a way to have a captive audience. You can use text message marketing. That's a really good way.
Yeah.
Smartphone is a really good SMS tool. It will give you analytics. It will tell you if this
Yeah, I'm
person
taking
has
notes.
ever purchased from you. Ryan Leslie, I don't know.
Superphone, I have it.
Superphone,
There
that's
we
what it is, Superphone. Ryan Leslie created that, and it's a really good text message marketing tool that gives you analytics on your audience. And you can build a captive audience. So if you have a new product, right, like you may have Tappidy now, but if you want to launch a new product, you can access all 5,000 of those people, and imagine the percentage of sales that you will get versus posting it on social media.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You're saving yourself money too, when you have smart strategies and ways of accessing your audience, once you know who your audience is.
And that's my next question. So my next question is kind of like starting from like the ground up, right? So let's say we don't really know about the analytics. We don't really know about Google Trends. Like, how do we find out who our audience is? Like, where do we start? Like, I have a pool inflatable company. How do I know who my targeted audience is? Like, what would you guys suggest for a business owner that's just starting out, that's still trying to figure out who is my target audience before they jump into the analytics?
Like how Sierra had mentioned earlier, creating that persona. So you want to sit down and create that persona, create that person. Who is your target?
So you gotta put
Create
pen to
that target.
paper.
Yeah, you gotta put
You
your
gotta
pen to
really
paper.
think about
Yeah.
who is my product going to benefit.
Well, yeah.
I would also say, if you have customers already, talk to them. They will tell you what they're most interested in, what they need, and then don't always try to reinvent the wheel, right? Look at your competitors. Analyze your competitors. How many people in their audience is talking about coffee, right? How's coffee relative to pool inflatables, right? Maybe these are people who vacation a lot. I'm just throwing something out. But analyze your competitors and figure out where they exist online, how people are talking to them, how they're talking to people. And that can help define who your audience is and where your audience is positioned online, and give you a sense of their personalities, like she said, their persona.
So it goes back to consumer research, which is something that has been lost over the last few years, because like we talked about with social media. And so when I do branding and marketing, I like to hit all the different elements, you know, the pavement marketing, e-flyers, e-mailing, mailers, things like that. Going out and actually meeting people and things of that nature to step away from social media, because like you said, you can have 5,000 followers, but how many of them are actually converting into actual sales or actual clients? So something I feel like that has been lost over the years is actually doing consumer research. Let's talk about that.
Consumer research is critical, and when We bring the big brand experience to medium-sized businesses. That is one of the things that small and medium-sized businesses are always missing, almost 100% of the time. Do a focus group, right? You know, it doesn't have to cost thousands of dollars to do a focus group. You can call a focus group together from your followers on social media. Do it as a Zoom call. Have 25 people. Have specific questions that you're going to ask those people about your brand and how they interact with your brand. You can give them a gift card, or you can partner with another brand that needs to get their business out there and say, for everyone who joins, you will get this, maybe a swag bag, and a potential to win $50, right? It doesn't have to be thousands of dollars, right? There are also online platforms that allow you to do focus groups online too.
I didn't know about that.
Yes, yes.
Incredible.
Can't think of anything on the top of my head.
It's okay.
But
we can look into that.
You know, majority of the brands that I work for, in addition to just, you know, giving out free swag, freebies, they always say, oh, if you complete this survey, we'll give you this. And I see exactly what they were doing. But at least they're taking that step to actually care, to find out what their consumers are thinking.
And also
Yes.
capturing information at the same time.
Yes.
Data is everything.
Yes.
My main background is a strategist. I'm a brand strategist, marketing strategist. And that information will tell you your next step. Like, it literally will create the story for you if you know what to extract from the data. And like you said, having surveys, a lot of times small businesses, they sell products and that's it, right? But after you sold to someone, make sure you have a process. It's called a marketing funnel that continually allows you to communicate with these people. It's going to also build brand recognition. They're going to remember you. And then you're going to get information from them about how they interacted, how they used your product. Maybe they gave it away as a gift. Maybe they didn't even use it themselves. Maybe they used it and it wasn't really what they're looking for. And that's going to tell you or help you define even more who your target audience is, or maybe even how to tweak what you have to offer people.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I just started learning about sales funnel. You like marketing funnel? I'm like, I've never heard of that.
Same thing, really.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Bree, when you go out and you work with a lot of these, you know, these major corporations, what do you feel like is one thing that you've seen that's really been very streamlined in all of these different companies? Because I've seen you work with some very high-profile companies, and typically you're the person, you're like the face of the company at that moment because you are their representative. So what do you feel like is one of the key components that has been very consistent in a lot of the major companies you've worked with?
Creating a different experience, trying to stand out, and definitely trying to give out free swag and collect that data. That
At the
data
same
is
time.
definitely is where it's at.
So don't just give free, you gotta give free in exchange for a little bit of information.
And they follow up. They don't just follow up one time with one email, but they also don't bombard you with a ton of emails.
Okay,
You
so
know,
kind of like a mix between Fashion Nova and Target. Target might send you an email once a week. Fashion Nova gonna text you 4 times a day and give you like 3 emails.
and no matter how many times you unsubscribe from Fashion Nova, it's just
I didn't know that.
So yes.
So the rule of thumb to really learn from that is don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't be afraid to follow up with your customers. Don't be afraid to ask them questions, because at the end of the day, they're your customer, your client, because they support you ultimately. So why not dig a little bit deeper into their brain and find out, you know, are they happy with the service? Is there anything that could be changed? Like you said, by asking them certain things, if it's like a face care company, you can ask them, you know, did the products work for you? That can help with market research, and you can kind of fine tune it into rolling out, you know, further products.
Yes. You know what's crazy? I just recently started working a new campaign with the whole work from home.
Okay.
And what the work from home is, they dressed it up as pretty as they could, but essentially it's cold calling. I never thought it was cold calling. So I'm calling these businesses or personal cell phones. I don't know how they got this number, this person's name. can stay with the outline of it, but once people hear that it's a script, they feel like it's like, okay, this stuff.
Like you're selling to
Like
them,
you're selling to
and
them.
then they tap out.
Yeah, they tap out.
I know I tap out sometimes.
They hang up on you. You know, they hang up on you. Whereas if you just start the conversation like you're a regular person, reaching out to them. Hey, this is Breyona from such and such. How are you today? They give them a chance to respond, and then you're actually like, oh, hey, just, you know, I'm looking forward to the weekend, or, you know, it's been this kind of day, or I'm actually trying to stay awake because I just ate a big lunch. You know, just actually having a conversation with them.
Kind of like customer relations that
Yeah.
you're kind of building into. So now they're actually understanding more about yourself, more about the company, and now you kind of like pique their interest. Not by just starting off with, hey, I'm calling from so-and-so, this is my product, are you willing to buy it?
But
Yeah,
actually
connecting.
and it's actually like you're establishing some type of rapport, some type of relationship first, and then they're more likely to give you information and give you feedback.
Very true.
And then it's what the company does with that information. That's up to them. I got paid for my job.
Okay. So how do you ladies feel like the best way to build on a proven process is? So let's say I've launched my business and the first month or two we're doing great. We're doing really, really good sales. Third, fourth month, it's kind of trickling down. We don't really know what's going on. So we're like, okay, well maybe let's create some more products, and now we're gonna launch some new products. But now it's kind of like you're holding yourself at a standard, right? Because your first one went so well, it declined. So what do you feel like is the best way to kind of double back on a proven process to something that you started?
I would say that a business is alive, right? It's not going to be a steady line.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be ups and downs. You can do, I mean, gosh, there's a host of things you can do with that time of downtime, like opportunity to refine your service or your product. You can use that time to, like we've been saying the whole time, connect with your audience. You can use that time to analyze your competitors. I mean, it's a host of things that you can do, but I would just say probably from a small business mind, right? As soon as your sales go down, you're not thinking about any of that. You're like, I need some money in the door. And I was talking to someone about this earlier, I can't remember his name, that a strategy that I usually give businesses when you just need something, some money in the door, is figure out who you can partner with, right? Partnership marketing. Figure out who shares the same audience that you do. And it goes back to also really wanting to be authentic about what you have to give, right? I'm going to use myself as an example. During the pandemic, business did kind of spike, as you know, for a marketing agency, but we did find ourselves at kind of a plateau kind of period. So I reached out to the business UCF incubator.
Oh, okay.
And I really do have a passion to help brands who are passionate. And so I reached out and offered to do workshops. My VP of operations actually did workshops for UCF business incubators. And just offering what I have to give to my audience in their time of need. That's what I mean by being authentic, right? In your downtime, go back to why you started your brand, why you exist, and what you want to offer people, right? I went back to, I'm doing this not because I want to make a profit. Yes, I need to make a profit.
Yes.
But how can I authentically connect with the people that I desire to serve? I tell my clients all the time, if you figure out what you, how to offer the best of your brand and your service to people, then you can, they'll come to you because they need you, they want you. And when you're authentic about that, then you find opportunities.
I like
So we
that.
found that opportunity in partnership marketing, and through that, we ended up getting clients and people that discovered who we were.
It's the same thing that happened to me. So in the beginning of the pandemic, for about a month and a half, everything just stopped. I wasn't working, and with my primary job being in-person events, everything got canceled. So agencies had to go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, how can we get out there? How can we still do business with our clients? So while they were in, drawing boards, figuring that out, I decided to, okay, let me get on YouTube. Let me try and get on YouTube and talk to people who, my niche were other brand ambassadors, other people in the event industry, to primarily give them some gleam of hope, that, hey, this is happening. We don't know how long this is going to be happening. Your pockets may be hurting, but, don't give up. Still be out there. Still put your face out there. Still connect with your agencies. And in doing so, agencies, I realized, I don't know if it was just me, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but agencies started to reach out more to brand ambassadors. They started posting more. They started giving out money like, hey, if you submit this essay, we'll pick a winner, and then you'll get $500. I got $500. Yeah, they got back in touch. I got about $1,500 in just participating, staying connected with these agencies. And then that lasted about, like I said, about a month and a half. And the next thing you know, I'm getting emails, I'm getting phone calls, I'm getting text messages. Hey, Bree, we see that you're still out there. How are things going with you? Well, we have a client that wants to do this or wants to do that. Is that something that you're interested in doing? You get creative. They get creative. I got creative too.
Yeah, it's so important.
That is very important.
Especially as you become a bigger company, because a lot of the times when you're a smaller company, it's easier to be more hands-on with all your clients. But then when you start growing and you have 15, 20 clients, or now you have like 30, 40 clients, you have to still give each client or customer that one-on-one. But how do you do it? You stay in touch.
Exactly.
That's so important. It's so important.
You collect that data, you get information, you figure out what's going on,
Let's talk about engagement, because when it comes to marketing and rolling out, it's about engagement. It's about getting people excited about your brand, excited about your business. So what are some ways that you guys feel are key for a business owner to go about creating engagement, whether it's in person, whether it's on social media? What are some ways that you guys are seeing now being most beneficial?
I'll let you start. Brand ambassador.
Showing a lot of behind the scenes.
Okay.
Being a little bit more transparent about what you're doing and what your intent is.
Okay.
I realize that that's, for the most part, been working.
Because people want to really know who you are as a company, as a brand, or as an individual.
Yeah, because they really want to know who you are, and then also just try to create some type of experience, something very interactive.
Something to make you different.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes you stand out.
Okay.
Right. Quick and sweet.
I like that. Piggyback, creating an experience, I think, is vital at every level, right? From the time that they see you online to the time that you talk to them, is making sure that it's a great experience.
How about like content creation? We know that people are engaged with like videos on social media. So
Yes.
Are there any tactics that you guys would like to share with people?
Definitely video. I realized that just with me with Tappidy, paying attention to a spike in my engagement online, is that when I actually show myself using the product or somebody else using the product in different ways, the engagement is better. I get more feedback, more people slide on my DMs. Just out here, how I have the table set up. Yeah, I can have my Tappities out there, a jewelry display, but if I'm not showing you how it works, you're not going to understand what's going on. You don't want to just read something. But by establishing that engagement and having the consumer like, okay, how does this work? Hey, where's your phone? Can you take out your phone, unlock it for me? That's just us. You're going to unlock your phone, you don't even know me. You know?
And getting them to interact.
Yeah, you get to interact, and then you're feeding their brain, you're feeding their curiosity, and they're going to be even more curious. And it just, I don't know, it just creates a different experience.
It's an
And
experience.
speaking of copy, there are tools, I think one's called AI copy, that's a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I heard that.
AI copy, yes. There are tools that, based on how you want to communicate with your audience, if you want to send an email, or if you want to do a social media post, you can put in what you want to talk about, and it'll tell you the best keywords to use in that post, in that email, based on how people are searching for that information online. So it helps
Okay.
you speak to them more directly.
So if I'm a new business owner and I'm not really sure how to go about marketing, I can use a system like that to kind of help me. Would it help with like creating like captions or maybe like blogs?
Blogs, emails,
Okay,
pretty much any type of copy you can think of.
okay.
Who's taking notes? But I need to.
No, you have to watch it back. So when it comes to planning a business or a rollout, so let's say a new business owner, how long do you think they should anticipate as far as in marketing and branding for that initial launch? Like if I have this clothing company and I know that it's gonna take me lining things up. I have my products, I have my pictures, I have all that. What's a good timeline for like a business rollout?
I would definitely say times have changed. Right?
They have.
You don't need, a whole year to roll a business out. I took forever, right? I never thought I was ready.
Are we ever
I
really
needed
ready?
to redo my website 20 times. Just go for it. I mean, yes, you do need to have things in place. And like she said, once you have everything in place, just go for it. I would say to do a good business rollout, about 3 months, right? Because you want to be, and the only reason I say 3 months is because you want to test different ways of rolling your business out. And you need about 3 months to kind of analyze that data and see what's really going on, how people are perceiving it, and what your next step is. But 3 months, I would say, you're good to go.
Plenty of time.
There's plenty of time to roll out a business. Yeah, for sure.
I would agree and say maybe about 2 months. So I can only really speak more so from my experience. But the longer I took, perfecting my craft, perfecting Tappidy, the more comfortable, I got with it. So I feel like I think that would be the same way for other people. So the longer you spend with your product, the more you test it out in the market to see how people respond. Okay, people don't seem to like this, so I'm not gonna launch this when I launch all my products. It's doing that research, but I would say about 2 to 3 months as well.
Yeah, and I would say don't be afraid of failure, right? That is a huge part of my culture in a creative marketing agency, to make sure that we're innovative, stay innovative. Is, you will never meet a successful person that says they never failed. Right?
And if they say that, then I think they lie.
So if you're not starting because you're scared of failure, then you may as well say you're scared of success, because it takes failure to succeed. And when you fail, you learn. And when you learn, you're living.
Yes.
Right? So I always say just go for it. Another thing based on my experience that I always tell people is, don't be afraid to go after the big brands. It is harder to work with small brands.
Yes.
Because they want you to do it all. Big brands, they have teams in place, they have processes in place that define specifically what you're gonna do. And a lot of big brands actually want to work with smaller brands. There's a huge push right now for community. Big brands getting involved in the community, and they want to work with small brands who are already connected and tied to the community. So if you know that you are an expert in what you do, then just go for it. Go for the biggest fish in the ocean. Why not?
Get out of your head. The more you're in your head, the more you're going to procrastinate. The more you procrastinate, the less likely you are going to start.
Right.
Sometimes it's all about starting. You know, it's okay to have a plan. It's always great to have a plan and to be prepared because that gives you more confidence. But there's nothing like actually, you know, hitting the road and just running with it and just trying. Because like you said, you gotta have failures. That's the lesson that you need to learn. But with growth comes pain. Hey, you're gonna have to hurt a little bit.
Exactly. And I would also say there is no like hard process. Like people always want to know, okay, how do I approach a Amtrak, right?
Yeah.
Or a JetBlue? You do just like you do a small business. I literally walked into Amtrak and said, "Can I talk to the president?"
Oh, you
I did. I walked into the office and I said, "Can I talk to the president of the Southeast Corridor?" He happened to be there.
Wow.
I met with him that day and I pitched to him a magazine on Auto Train. And that led to them offering me to do a magazine and do advertising for the Southeast Corridor of Amtrak.
That's dope.
Walking like you would, don't treat them any differently. They're people. You know, granted, I did have to, it's very bureaucratic.
Of course.
Hop.
There's always a process somewhere now.
It's always a process, but I definitely would encourage you to go for it and go to them just like you would any other business.
So for all the business owners in here, entrepreneurs, or those aspiring to be business owners, what is one gem you ladies would like to leave everybody with when it comes to like just building their brands, rolling it out, and just staying in it for the long run as well? Because a lot of the times with entrepreneurship, like you said, those spikes where it's like you're doing really good, sales not too good right now, but then it's gonna come back around. It's that time frame where it's down. It's like maybe I should just go get me a 9 to 5 or something like that. Like, what's your advice for someone to just like to stay in there, stay in the game?
I would say to stay focused and to be passionate about whatever path you decide to take. That focus and that passion is what's gonna keep you pushing when sales aren't being made, when you get very frustrated, when you're up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because you haven't slept and you're hungry and you're crying, but you really want to get this done.
All that.
I would say that focus and that passion, and just remember why you're doing it. Don't just get into something just because it's a trend and because other people are getting into it. Don't buy other people's face, because a lot of times the face that people give you, it's not what's really happening in the back. You know.
Yeah.
But just stay focused and just be passionate about whatever you choose to do.
Focus, passion, consistency.
I would say be authentically excellent.
Yes.
Well done.
Whatever you're offering, make sure it's excellent, right? Make sure you're offering the best of your brand to someone. I would also say, make sure, someone said this earlier about building a tribe. Right? Make sure you have a group of people who believe in the vision, but you have to know that they understand the vision, right? But that your vision connects somehow with their vision. That is the only way that anyone else connecting or believing in your vision is going to be able to make the necessary sacrifices that it needs for your brand. A lot of times we connect with people, but our vision doesn't connect with their vision anywhere, right? So when I hire people, I don't just look for the degree. I look for their level of passion, and I look for why Brand Manifest is a good fit for them, not why they're a good fit for me. Because if I know, okay, this position is a remote position and they have a newborn and that's going to work for them because they need to stay at home. They need something that's not going to be demanding, that allows them to travel, etc. So, okay, this is meeting a need for them in some way. And then how long is this meeting a need for them? What's their long-term goal? And I don't find out what their long-term goal is just so I can say, oh, they're not a good fit. I find out what their long-term goal is so that I can see if I have an opportunity
That can help them.
that can help them.
So you're investing in
I'm
the people who work with
investing
you.
in the people who work with me, and that allows me to build a tribe.
And that's what separates you.
Exactly. You're authentic.
Absolutely.
You're real. They know that you need them.
And you care.
And exactly, and you care. And that's big part of my core values. I got that from JetBlue, actually. They're very strong in their culture. And Brand Manifest, everyone who works with us, we're very passionate about the culture that we have. So when you know your brand, when you know who you are as a brand, then you're able to present yourself authentically. So I would definitely say it's probably the biggest thing that I learned, and knowing that people's visions and lives change. So building your tribe is ever evolving.
It is very true.
You know, you may have someone that's a great fit, and then a year from now they're no longer a great fit. That's okay. You know, but now they're leaving you knowing that you cared and invested in them somehow.
It's all in growth, in
Yeah,
business growth. And that's what we all aim for and aspire. What I would like to do is open up the floor. If anybody has any questions, we can take some questions.
I already automatically came here.
Okay.
First one.
What's good, everybody? You know it's me again, Gordon. So, as solopreneurs, brand new, some of us have full-time jobs, etc. Can you expound on the benefits of creating a minimum viable product, an MVP, and then prioritizing the development process to reach that 3-month launch goal?
New product development.
I'm so new. I don't think I quite understand the question. I'm so sorry.
So, creating a smaller version of your full product to test the market with,
Yeah.
and then using that data to create a more fuller version of the product.
Okay, definitely. So just I don't know how to formulate this as far as like giving you advice, but the research is where it's at. Once you do that research, you find out, okay, who is your target? You set your target. Who is your target? What are some of the things that they like? Put some stuff out there and see what likes first before you put a lot of money and invest a lot of money into your product. Just come up with like a cheaper version. I'm not gonna say cheap, but inexpensive version. And just see how people respond to that and engage in conversation. If it is, I'm more so in live events. So with it being live events, I'm outside, speaking to people at my booth, and I'm like, hey, what do you like? I'm watching them. I'm watching what they touch first, what they touch second, what they touch third. What questions are followed up. I would say to just start small, maybe 3 to 5 products. See what people think about that first, and going from there, find out which direction that you want to go with your products. Hope that answers it.
I would also add to that, that's really good advice, just kind of backing off what she said. I would definitely do some demand marketing too, where you're connecting, like if you create samples, right? Figure out who out there, bloggers, podcasters, or whatnot, are just talking about new samples, right? But find the people who have the biggest audience. Not just big audiences, it's a numbers game at that point. If you find 100 people, podcasters or bloggers or anyone in PR, public relations, and you create many samples and you offer it to them. Sometimes they just want you to offer it to them. They want to try it and they'll talk about it. And if they have a really large audience, then you can say, this is the first phase. In the second phase, I would like to do this, and give them a plan that matches their audience, not just your plan. And you may have to create different ones for different brands, or however you're positioning to meet their positioning. And then when you get ready to do your rollout, then you now have already connected with these different mediums, and you can roll it out to their audience. sometimes they'll even give you in exchange for your product, depending on how valuable your product is, they'll even give you access to like an email list that when when you get ready to launch your final product, they can get first dibs, right? You can offer that to their audience. Also, look online at services. I don't know if you're doing like a software as a service or what.
I'm a service-based business.
Okay. Well, I will say this, don't count out platforms that promote digital products, because there are ways that you can convert your service-based business into
a digital product at some point in time, absolutely. And then you can retarget.
Exactly.
All right, do you have any more questions? Oh, we have one right here.
So the question I have, you were talking about doing business with some of the bigger companies out there. Are any of you familiar with becoming minority certified or women-owned business certified so you can get some of those contracts?
Yes, so we're actually in the process of being a government contractor, and we're minority owned. I was in the Navy, so I'm veteran owned.
Oh, you get everything.
And women owned. I would definitely say, there are lots of agencies. I paid too much money. I go to SBA. I paid too much money allowing someone to do these certifications for me. But there are, before I knew this, you can go to the SBA or your Chamber of Commerce, and they will do these things for you for free. But working with government agencies, they do have to have, like sometimes it may be an ink pen that they need to buy, but by the next fiscal year, they may need to work with a minority-owned business, and they can't give that contract to anyone else.
Right.
So there's lots of opportunities out there. I will also say that there's a surplus program that I just learned about not too long ago, to where it was for minority-owned businesses, but it's also for veteran-owned businesses as well, where the government can go to your local SBA, they'll give you all the information on it, or I can send you information if you just email me. But the surplus program allows you to get government equipment for free. It can be a truck, it can be a computer, it can be a phone, it can be a boat. Anything that the government is giving surplus that they don't need anymore, the only thing is you can't sell it. You have to actually use it.
You acquire it for use.
Yes, you're acquiring it for use, but it doesn't cost you anything. It's just paperwork you need to fill out. If you're a veteran, then you don't have to show a business plan or anything like that. If you're a minority-owned business, then you do have to show a business plan and business proof. But they literally just came out for veteran-owned businesses that you don't even need a business plan.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you got presents for So you guys, subscribe already. Let's give it up for these ladies. Thank you so much for coming out and dropping these gems with us. We really appreciate you both. As you all know, on the website, you can find all the information about all of the different panelists that are taking stage, as well as the keynote speakers. So if you would like to connect with any of these ladies after the event, you can definitely go to our website, or also, try to grab them on the way out. Thank you, ladies.